Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Super Feeler podcast. My name is Lori, and I am joined today by Heather, who is somebody that you've heard from a million times already, which I am very happy about. She is calling in from Georgia, and she's on our BPD symptom series and the DBT skills series. So you've heard her chat about her life in those contexts for probably gotta be at least 10 episodes, maybe more. I can't remember the number, but it's even 15 to 20 episodes now by the time this comes out. And just absolutely adore Heather. She's been a regular member of the Super Feelers Club, which is the peer support group that I run. And she's just a spectacular human being. So very excited for you to get to hear from her about her own story in kind of a more linear fashion, whereas some of these symptoms and skills series are kind of bouncing all over the place. So Heather, why don't I pass to you? You can just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you ended up in this BPD world with me.
Okay, well, we'll see how linear it is because I do identify as a chaos goblin.
That's fair. Heather the Chaos Goblin. It doesn't have to be linear, but it's a little more linear.
Bit. There's some structure. But I'm 37 and I just really found out BPD was a thing about 3 years ago through a friend. And then 1 year ago, I got a BPD diagnosis and started DBT therapy and got sober. And that has put me on this path with you.
Has it been a year of you being sober already?
Yeah, it's been 428 days.
Oh my God, I'm so proud of you.
That's amazing. It feels so good.
Yeah.
So that's been a journey, though. Being sober is great, but it also has been really hard because all of these emotions that I've just been burying and kind of drowning are all coming up to the surface. So that's been extreme.
I bet. I'm sure we'll get more into the substance use and sobriety piece later, but in terms of BPD, so you heard it from a friend and then you kind of got the official diagnosis about a year ago. So what was the prompting event of getting that diagnosis?
So I've always had tumultuous relationships and all the symptoms, most of the symptoms, and I kind of knew that it was something to do with mental health, but not ever been able to pinpoint it. And I just kind of had a breakdown day that was way worse than any other. And I just did a lot of ugly stuff. I mean, I did domestic violence. That's a really hard thing to talk about and admit, but and that's the only time it's ever happened. But it just got that serious. I just lost it so much. And I broke a door in our house that has a glass window and it threw a cast iron skillet through it. I just went totally off the rails. And so simultaneously I got sober and got in therapy. And it really didn't take long in therapy for us to start talking about BPD.
Yeah.
I've been in therapy for a long time, but not like this. I started.
And did you have other diagnoses before?
Yeah, so I got diagnosed with, general anxiety disorder and major depression, all the things they try to throw
all
at
the
you
normal
first.
Things.
They're like, it's just anxiety. Even it's not normal to be this upset. That's not just anxiety. But and then ADHD was the first one that I got that was okay, this can really help me do some stuff because that affects my everything. But so what happened was I got diagnosed with PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Yes.
And that's a mood disorder, but it's time cycle with your menstrual cycle. It's changes your mood during that time.
There's that have that.
Yeah, it seems to be common. And I actually am do I even have that or did I? Because
Oh, interesting.
Or was it just BPD? Is what I'm wondering. And it was exemplified when I have the hormonal issues too. So about 6 years ago, I think it has been, I had a hysterectomy because I also had endometriosis and adenomyosis. So it's just
oh my God, endometriosis sisters.
Yeah, there's so much comorbidity and things. There's.
Yeah.
But okay, so did you have a hysterectomy too?
No, okay. When I was 18, they did the surgery where they scraped all the scarring off, and then they gave me an IUD, so the scarring would come back less / not at all potentially, and I've been pretty good since. So I'm super lucky.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is very lucky. I was older. I think it was 31 or 32 when I had the hysterectomy. was the first thing they ever tried
Well, and
to
you had already
do.
had kids, right? So
Yeah.
for me, they said basically, because that was the other like alternative, and they said, we're not going to give you a hysterectomy at 18.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
period.
fair, I guess.
They were like, unless you're dying, like, we're not going to give you a hysterectomy at 18. So, but the IUD thing has worked like a charm. So I'm very thankful. But I mean, having a hysterectomy would also super fuck with your emotions too, right?
Yeah, and there's like a long healing process, but I didn't have it's a long word that I don't even know, but I still have ovaries. Like I had a full
Okay, yeah.
hysterectomy, and most people think that means like everything, but that's a whole other extra thing.
Right. So it's just
So I
your
haven't went
uterus.
through menopause yet. That'll still be natural.
Interesting.
Which
Okay, yeah, I
I've
didn't know that. I
heard
thought you would
from
have.
some older BPD gang that things get way easier after menopause. So that's been
Oh,
really interesting to
interesting.
me.
Oh my God, can you please tell me who that is? So, like, offline so that I can interview them about that? Because that would be fascinating.
Yes. Well, okay. So there's so many. Yes, I have many BPD gangs, but yes, I will tell you who it is and where that came from.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I had the hysterectomy and I thought that was kind of going to fix everything and like the PMDD and
Mm,
stuff. And it didn't. And I still had a mood disorder, but didn't know what it was.
yeah.
And it was kind of devastating to my husband and I because we're like, this is going to fix all these
Right.
like issues that you have emotionally, but it didn't. And I thought maybe it would take a while, but years went by and things just stayed bad. So I think ADHD, PMDD, general anxiety, depression, and then finally all of that led to BPD, which I do
Mm-hmm.
identify with more than any other diagnosis of those. And then recently I was diagnosed with CPTSD also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, again, another interesting diagnosis in that, like, some people think that BPD and CPTSD are the same thing. I
Uh-huh.
don't personally agree with that, but very connected, obviously, in terms of where they come from. So
I think so, yeah.
CPTSD, for context, is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Just I always try and say the acronyms at least once.
Yeah, I forget that not everyone knows what they mean.
Yeah.
It's
It's okay.
interesting to me now that I have got that diagnosis, and it's like I can kind of feel the difference. Like the CPTSD is
Mm,
very uncontrollable. Whereas, at least for
okay.
me, I don't have that toolbox yet. But with the BPD, like I know it and like resonate with
Mm-hmm.
it and understand how to kind of control it. I won't say like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
perfect, but those DBT skills really make a big difference.
They do make a big difference. Yeah. So, okay. So CPTSD, ADHD, PMDD, depression, anxiety, ADHD, if I didn't already say that, BPD. And I think, yeah, you and I are similar in how we like think about BPD, which for me, it is like the overarching thing to all of my other diagnoses. It's like the
Yes.
umbrella,
Yes.
and all the other things are just like components of it. Yeah. So things didn't get fixed by your hysterectomy, which is tragic. You also have other people in your life that have BPD, but you didn't really know that until recently, right? So when
Yeah.
you were given this diagnosis, you didn't really like have a lot of context to it.
Really didn't. I originally learned about it a few years ago because a friend's therapist started bringing it up to them, and then they ended up not getting
Right.
diagnosed with it. But it got me
Oh,
looking
interesting.
into it and being like, oh, this kind of sounds more so than any of the other ones I've ever been had
Mm-hmm.
thrown at me. And then, so this is going to open up like a whole new subject, but I'm a swinger. And so
Mm-hmm.
I have like I started instantly being loud about having BPD pretty much when I found out. It
Yeah.
was like, all right, everyone need like I wanted to find the people. I knew it what is it, like 5% of people or something? I knew that I had to
Yeah.
know
Up to
people
6.
that
Totally.
also have it, but no one talks about it. So I just started being
Mm-hmm.
loud and people just started reaching out to me. And so there are lots of people I know that have BPD actually, maybe like 15.
That's wild.
Yeah,
And you had no idea
no
until you
idea.
started being open about it.
And I want to say
Yeah,
that's
because
because
people
I'm
are
part of a
ashamed.
big community too. It's not like I just know like 15 people in my really interpersonal life because that is a lot. But
But how many people are in the community that you're kind of like taking that 15 from?
a few hundred.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess that math check so.
And those are the ones that
Yeah,
have
that
reached
math
out
checks
or like
out.
opened up to me about it.
Yeah, so there's
There's probably
more,
more. Yeah, I'm sure there
obviously.
is.
There's definitely more. So I'm really fascinated by the swingers thing because I think A, it happens more than people think. Also, like, am so interested, especially when you talk about how many people in that community have BPD, or at least in your swinging community have BPD, because I think one of the things that would be really hard about that is like the jealousy component, which is a huge thing for people with BPD. So can you talk a little bit about like how did this even come to fruition? Like, how did you discover you guys wanted to do that? And like, what does it look like in your emotional jealous state?
Well,
Yeah.
I won't get too much into how we like got into it
Okay.
because my
Yeah, no
husband asked
worries.
me
Yeah.
not to, but
Okay, yeah, no, totally. That's all good.
we've pretty much been
Boundaries are
swingers
important.
like our whole relationship.
Okay.
But only in the past like 5 years has there really been like a community that we knew about and were part of and stuff.
Okay. How long have you guys been together?
Like, I think 8 years now.
Okay.
So we've been doing this most of the, like, been part of the community for most of the time. And so the emotional thing, I probably do, or people with BPD probably do have to work a lot harder at
Mm-hmm.
being okay with it, I guess, because of like the abandonment and jealousy. But if anything, it's helped me grow in those areas where like understand what is making me feel abandoned or like have me
Mm.
like even consider why these feelings are coming up kind of
Is
things.
it because it's like kind of exposure to it? Like
Kind of like I
you're dealing
wouldn't
with it
really
more
be even
often?
feeling these things if I weren't in these positions. And then
Yeah.
having my husband is like super supportive and reassuring and stuff. So being able to just like express even irrational things
Mm-hmm.
has been available. And then that's how I can kind of grow through it is that I can
Mm-hmm.
talk about it. And then he like reassures me that like, whatever crazy thing I've made up that he's like moving to Florida with someone or, like just irrational stuff.
Right.
He's able to, so like really you can't do it without a supportive partner. I wouldn't suggest that
Totally.
with
No.
anyone, but
And like
especially with BPD.
any non-monogamous relationship, if people start swinging because they're about to get divorced or whatever, and like that, I feel like comes up a lot where they're like, oh, let's just like open up our relationship or whatever. And you're just like, that's not going to work. That's not going to solve your problems. It'll probably add to your problems.
Get in arguments with people on the internet about that all the time because I'll see people suggesting that to other people who are struggling, and I'm like, please don't join the community. Go to therapy.
Yeah,
You're
exactly. Like,
exposing
and
other
I'm
people
like,
to it.
I'm 100% like, have no problem with like any non-monogamous stuff. Like I feel like being monogamous for the rest of anybody's life is like a really stupid concept. As long as like everybody's on board, like that's the thing. But yeah, to use that to solve problems does not make sense to me. No. So like, okay, can I ask like some random swinging
Sure.
questions just so that I make sure that I know it? Okay. So you've got your pineapples. I know that much because I've been on enough cruises to see pineapples everywhere. But so is it always a pair and a pair swapping? Or like
No,
is
there's
it just like
so much
open
dynamics.
to whatever? Okay.
It's just like a whole spectrum of things, really. It's almost like ethical non-monogamy, but just the sexual part of it.
Right, because I guess ethical non-monogamy, you could also have the like relationship component.
Right. Or some people just only do things on their own and call that ethical non monogamy. And this is more, it is like, there are more couples than anything else because that's just how it is. But there are like
Mm-hmm.
single people in the lifestyle, and the dynamics are all kinds of anything you can think of, really. People like do those
Interesting.
different things.
Okay. And so you do kind of experience that jealousy sometimes, or you just like it just doesn't phase you anymore.
No, I still do. It's not nearly as frequent just because I've been doing it so long, but like there's still
Yeah.
stuff that will make me be like, I think my emotional state is what it's dependent on. So what I've learned
Mm-hmm.
is to take breaks. Like I've learned that I don't do it when I'm not in a good place. Like, or we won't go to a
Right.
party if I'm gonna just get pissed off at people. Like I've tried to
Yeah.
cope ahead with that. So not often do I get upset.
Is the sobriety piece like more difficult? Because like you have a lot of like parties and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Has that contributed to your substance use, do you think? Obviously, I'm not saying swinging
Think
contributes to substance
I
use,
don't
but
think
being
so,
kind of
but it
more social. Yeah.
did make it harder to quit in the sense of like it's very, I mean, a partying atmosphere has just got alcohol in it. And then there's
Yeah.
things called like meet and greets where you just meet people from the community at bars and stuff. Like that's an average
Okay.
meetup place is at a bar. So it's like I
Yeah.
still spend time in bars sometimes. That's been wild, but it's like I've gotten really strong from it, I think.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's like the ultimate test, right? It's like being in a bar and being like okay with not drinking. So, like, can we get into your substance use stuff a little bit more? Just because I think that's something that is occurs with so many people that have BPD, and sometimes we talk about it and other times it kind of gets like pushed under the rug a little bit. So drinking is your primary challenge, right? And have you drank kind of forever, like as far as you can remember?
Yeah, so I've always had a horrible toxic relationship with alcohol. I
Mm,
wouldn't say I've always been addicted to it, but I always abused it. And
right.
um, so I never controlled my drinking. I just would drink until I'm like blackout drunk. And so,
Hmm.
especially having BPD, I would end up fighting someone or crying under a table every time, and then I would just still keep
Yep.
drinking, not learn the lesson and keep drinking. So I just never
Hmm.
controlled it. But that would just be like I would party every weekend. When COVID happened, I it that was kind of the start of my real problem where I considered being an alcoholic. I started just drinking at
Interesting.
home and in the daytime because there's nothing else to do and it was just lonely.
Hmm.
I'm a very extroverted person and being isolated like that was horrible and I just started drinking all the
Right.
time until it was like I couldn't not do it.
Right. And then you've got the physical addiction on top of everything else, right?
Yes.
At that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the withdrawal symptoms and stuff when I quit, and that kind of guarantee, like, just reassured to me that I was addicted to alcohol. It's like I had the flu.
Alcohol, it's one of the only drugs that can kill you coming off of it, right? Like you
Yeah,
got to be
you have to be really
really careful
careful.
with it. And alcohol is such a like a I don't know, I think it's because it's so normalized. And like I don't know if you've so I'm really lucky in that I've never had an issue with alcohol and I like I count my blessings on that. Like that is I'm very very thankful for that. But I kind of during COVID was drinking a lot as well at the beginning. I think we all were. And then I kind of just like got over it. I was like I just don't like drinking anymore. And so I basically stopped and like I'm very thankful for that again. I realize how much privilege comes with that just not caring. But the more that I don't drink because I'm essentially sober now, like I maybe have a cocktail once every 6 months. Like I really just don't. And the more that I don't drink, the more that I realize how fucked up the alcohol use in
Yes,
society is. Are you feeling that too?
absolutely. I've been trying to explain to everyone who still drinks. They don't really get it, but I can tell after they've had one drink. I can tell after they've had two drinks.
Right.
Like everyone thinks they're not inebriated
Yeah.
until they are drunk. And I can tell the people that I actually know I can tell as soon as you're drinking, like you're different. It affects you immediately, pretty much, and it
Mhm.
just makes you different.
Well, and just like how like common it is. Even I work in mental health and substance use, and like I have people in my life and like my friends that will still like push alcohol on me. I'm like, oh, but like, why aren't you drinking? Like, oh, but like, come on, just have one glass. Like, it's fine. And I'm just like, but I don't want it. Like it's, I just always, every single time I'm in that situation, I think, holy shit. I'm like emotional. Like I might cry. Holy shit. This shit is being pushed on me. And I'm a person who literally like has not had a problem with alcohol in that I can easily just say, no, I don't want it. But people that are actively fighting that urge and you're pushing this shit on them, it's like, it's so disgusting to me.
It's horrible.
And I can't imagine like if I was like addicted to it how like sorry I'm like literally my voice is cracking how fucking hard it is for you guys to like keep saying no to alcohol specifically. I think it's the world is so tied around alcohol. It's disgusting.
It is, and I'm not sure about everywhere, but like around here, it's at like kids' birthday parties, and not for the kids, obviously, but like people are just drinking everywhere. So that's rough. I don't go as many places as I used to go. I'm a lot more of a homebody being sober for that reason.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, well, I find like so I'm like near Vancouver, and it's okay over here. I find now, like, because I think the sober curious movement kind of thing is kicking off pretty well. So you can use like basically anywhere you go, there's going to be kombucha on the menu, or there's going to be like a mocktail list or whatever. But I went to Mississippi and Louisiana, and just last year, and like you could not find a non-alcoholic drink to save your life. And I remember I was at a restaurant and I asked for like a virgin no alcohol margarita and they're like, yeah, for sure. And then they gave me one that was full of tequila. And I like so I tasted it and was like, can somebody else taste this and like tell me if there's tequila in this? And they were like, yeah, 100% there's tequila in that. I'm like,
so
fuck,
scary. That
like
would devastate me if I
it's
accidentally
terrifying. Exactly.
messed up my sobriety, I would feel like I started over.
Exactly. And that wouldn't be your fault. Like I ordered the right thing. Yeah, it's just, I think it's very different.
I recently tried to do that when I went out with my friends, and the
Hmm.
server was just like, "We don't do that." And I was like, "You just don't put the alcohol in the drink. Like, make the drink and don't pour the alcohol in."
Yeah, like
They were just like, "No, we
it's
don't
not
do
that
that."
hard.
They
Yeah.
just they refused. I was like,
Like
"Okay, cool."
I understand like a martini or something where it's like all alcohol, like yeah, fair enough. But if I'm getting like a mojito or something, like you can just not
Yeah,
put
it
the
was like a
booze
pretty
in. Like
mixed
it's
drink they
really
had.
not that hard.
I
Yeah.
just drink water.
It's so stupid. Yeah, I exactly. Water, Diet Coke, tea. That's like my go-tos. I think your 400 and whatever days like is I'm just so proud of you because I know that is probably hard every single day.
It's but it's worth it. So worth it to anyone that's like having a hard time thinking if they should quit or not while dealing with these disorder symptoms. Like, it will make such a
Hmm.
difference. It's horrible for BPD for
So you
anyone,
feel
but
like your emotions are in better check? Like even though you have to
yeah,
deal with them now,
yeah.
like
It's
do you
like I have
feel
more emotions
yeah.
to deal with, but yeah, I'm not just wrecking everything.
Hmm.
And also, it
That's good.
really affected depression and things like that.
Hmm. And like, what about your physical health? Like, do you feel physically better too?
I do, and I like my energy levels are more there, and I'm not like it really just kind of it's such a downer. It brings you down, makes you feel
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
Like I just feel a lot better in general.
Hmm. I'm so glad. Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, I think when did we meet originally? Because you were still drinking when we met, I think. Do you remember when you started
I
coming to
don't
Super
think
Feelers?
so because yeah, I was already sober at the beginning of Super Fillers
Okay.
for me
Yeah,
when I
maybe you
first
were just
started
like
coming to
brand
it's
new
all
sober.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like basically when I started Super Feelers, I had just gotten sober and just found out about BPD.
Yeah.
But also, if I could go back to a little bit of the swinging stuff after this too, I have a couple things.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I find that, and I wonder if this is why there's so many people with BPD. Like it gives me like a safe way to these sometimes toxic symptoms, like impulsivity and like
Yes.
being promiscuous and stuff. I know that's not a listed symptom, but like it's
I mean,
just known that
impulsive
there's
sex is is a
true.
symptom. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's fair. Yeah.
So it's like it gives me a safe space to like live those things.
Hmm.
Like I can go to like you can just explore those things that are considered dangerous, or like sometimes I do impulsive stuff because it is like an adrenaline rush or because we're just like seeking that excitement, and it's like a controlled environment that I can do that, but it's still an open enough area that like I'm still making what seems to be wild decisions, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
It's
Well, and like with parameters, right? Because like obviously your
right,
husband and you have like had conversations about what those parameters are, and so
right,
you're able to like be safe and do it still.
right.
If that
Like
makes
it's
sense.
very the boundaries are in place, but it's still a very like up to me type situation, and
Hmm.
I'm still doing stuff that's kind of like fuck society and rules and
Yeah,
roles.
and makes you feel good.
Yeah. And it's just like exploring what you want is fun. Like it's good for you. I
Hmm.
think monogamy is like hard on people. I don't judge it because I know
Yeah,
that that's just like what it's taught, and some
it's like the
people feel
baseline
comfortable.
that exactly. That's the baseline that we're taught is like socially acceptable, but I don't feel like it's actually the like natural baseline, if that makes
Right.
sense.
No, I agree.
Yeah. I'm just too lazy at this point. Like,
Yeah. The older I get,
like
I am
the
less
effort.
interested. Like it's still fun, but I'm like, whatever, I've done it all.
You're like, oh god, I gotta like go out of my house and like put clothes on. God,
Yeah.
this sounds like a lot of work.
It really does sometimes.
Um,
But it's also a fun place to go. Like, there's costumes and themes, and like,
which that part
I
I would
love
love.
exciting
Yeah.
stuff and like being dramatic, clearly.
Yeah. Totally. No, I mean I would be so down for that kind of stuff. And is it always like one-offs or do you have regular partners?
I guess everyone's different, but for me, it's more,
Hmm.
there's a lot more regular partners because
Okay.
it's like, I live in a small town basically, anyways. And then so the community is like only so big. Everyone's dynamic is different, but for me, I'm more one of those people that's like connections and vibes more
Hmm.
so than just like random people.
Right. And do you like chat with them a lot, like during the week and stuff? Or is
Sometimes it just depends. Like I've made friends who are just like my friends now. And we're not even like swingers
right? Yeah.
together. We just like clicked really well and are friends. So I talk to
Mhm.
those people all the time. But
Yeah.
so a lot of it, so the community has like online group chats, and so you kind of talk to everyone if you can choose to be
Okay.
active in those or not. And I am because I'm just a talking person and like attention
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So that's another thing
Yeah.
that it helps the attention seeking. I feel that it helps me
Right.
not do that in other areas of my life where I'm not supposed to. It like feeds
Right.
that.
You have like an outlet for it.
But then I also have to put boundaries on myself because I will start like letting the group chat be my FP and be like get all my validation from there. So it's a very fine line.
Right.
This all of the stuff that it helps, I also have to really keep in check because it's easy to just be like get
Hmm.
addicted to that.
Totally.
So
Oh
it
my
takes
God.
a lot of
Getting
work,
addicted to attention.
but I feel like it's
Yeah.
worth
But
the
I love,
work.
totally. And I love that you're kind of using that work as like practice for skills
Yeah.
and like awareness, right? Like practice of figuring out like, am I in wise mind? Am I in emotion mind? Like, how can I use my skill? Is this impulsive and unsafe, or is this impulsive and safe? Those are all like skills that you get to practice in a way that I don't really get to practice because I'm in a monogamous relationship at the moment. So I just come home to the same person every day. We don't have issues with most of those things that would come up in when you're kind of like dating or with new people, which I think is the fear in my life of like, would I lose my shit?
You
Like,
might.
I don't think I would, but you don't know until you get there. Is the problem.
I lose my shit sometimes,
Yeah.
but I also am able to reel it back in. Like it's never been enough to make me be like, I hate this. Like all the fun stuff is
Totally.
where I'm like, no, I'll get through it. So
Yeah, absolutely.
but I think before finding the super feelers, that's the only place I had ever found community. And that's another reason it became so
Mm.
important to me. I used to be like an
Hmm.
admin in a larger local group and stuff like that. And just like it gave me like purpose, even though it's like, oh, it's a
Yeah,
sex club, basically. But like it was a lot more than that. But
totally.
and then so that has sort of shifted since finding the super feelers and finding like what I feel is my real community, like a meaningful
Hmm.
community. Not that the other's not, but it's not the same depth, obviously. So
Yeah, and I
now,
mean, obviously, you can have overlap between those two communities, given how many people you've
yeah,
found
some of them are
in
in
a
both.
short period of time. I mean, I feel like you just literally told me like I think when you first posted in, I guess I'm assuming it's in one of your groups about getting BPD or a diagnosis. And like it was like days later, all of these people had reached out to you.
Yes,
Like it wasn't a long period of time. It was pretty
it
immediate.
really was. They were gonna. It was like they were just waiting for someone to see them or something, and that's like
Hmm.
that happening has made it even more important to me to just keep being like loud about this and letting people know what's out there. And I feel like a lot of females who have trauma, like maybe even not BPD, but some people, a couple people reached out to me that were just like mental health, like wanted mental health
Yeah.
advocacy. And it's just
Hmm.
that relates with sex a lot somehow. And I don't know the science behind it yet. It's something that I've started to get really interested in, but there's definitely a
Hmm.
connection with BPD and sex clubs.
I mean, one of my favorites is when you Google, like, I can't remember, every time you Google something, it's like slightly different, but inevitably, are people with BPD good at sex? Or why are people with BPD good at sex? Always shows up when you do a
Yeah.
Google. And you're like, thank you.
No, literally.
But
I have a
yeah.
friend that's a therapist, and he said that I don't remember how he worded it, but basically it was like, be careful because when you tell people you have BPD, you become more attractive to them. And I was like,
They'll
that's
come
fucked.
knocking.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
like,
you're like,
also I
wait, is
might,
this like
like,
a weird fetishized
punch you in the
thing?
face or cry later. Like, is
Yeah,
that really that exciting?
exactly. Yeah, you're like, is it worth it? No, but I mean, I think like when I was in my, sleeping with everyone era, I feel like that was the case. Like people would be like, I feel like I'm addicted to you. It's not the sex that they were addicted to, I don't think, but it was like the
I was
intensity,
going
I
to say, I
guess.
think as people were just so intense in all areas, like,
Yeah.
there's nowhere that we're not intense.
Yeah, and that is really exciting for people when they haven't felt that before. And also really horrifying for people when they haven't felt that before, right? Like again, we're going to talk dialectics here and talk about how important it is to have balance. But yeah, I think that is a huge part of it. It's just like, it's just the intensity is unmatched. And so it feels so different and unreplaceable, I guess.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, dialectics of BPD is that like it could be tumultuous and stuff, but it's also going to be real fucking exciting to be with someone who has BPD, and it's going to be adventurous and just like a lot.
Yeah, never a dull moment.
No, never.
I say that. I
sure.
say never a dull moment, and then I like eat the same thing for 5 days in a row and sit on my couch downstairs and just like watch TV all the time. So like maybe if I were, Aaron's probably like listening, like, yeah, no, there's dull moments. Don't get me wrong, but it is, yeah, it's a fascinating experience. And your husband's really supportive, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's great.
Can you tell me a bit more about him? I wish I knew him.
But...
I've never met him. Yeah, no, I mean, aren't they all?
Yeah, so he's a man, but no, he's wonderful. I don't really know how to describe him other than just a wonderful being that deals with me. Like, I'm like, he's a tornado chaser, clearly.
Tornado chaser. Which is extra funny because, wait, was it a hurricane or a tornado that had to cancel?
It was a tornado.
Hurricane.
Tornado,
it was a tornado. Yeah.
My last time I was going to tell my story.
Yeah, we were going to record this like months ago, and then Heather's like messaged me on every single platform and was like, so there's a tornado. And I was like, yeah, no, we can cancel. That's fine.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
That's like my worst fear.
Anyway, so tornado chaser.
Yeah, so he's just like a pretty normal dude. Like, I feel like he's maybe neurotypical.
Yep.
He's just...
I think sometimes we need that.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, we're like yin and yang, you know. He's very logical, really smart. Not that I'm not, but like I'm emotional mind. He's logic mind.
Yeah. I was going to say, I almost love that because I feel like me and Aaron are the same, but it's like, maybe I've never thought about it that this is like, they're rational mind and we're emotion mind, and together we're the perfect combination.
Come together sometimes. But he's
truly.
just been so open to learning about this with me, and like he's listened to like an audiobook about how to love someone with BPD, or like if I voice to him, hey, this is important to me. Like, I'm sure he thinks this podcast is boring as shit. No offense to you and all of my other lovelies, but like, if you don't,
fun fact, I have recorded. I've been podcasting for 5 years now. Aaron has never listened to an episode.
That's great.
Not one episode. I think there's like 400 episodes I've done. Never listened to one.
Right, and like I think he's only listened to one, and it's because I was like, what did you think? And like, you have to tell me. But it's like,
he like puts it into ChatGPT. He's probably like, tell me what I think of this podcast.
Probably, actually. I'm gonna ask my ChatGPT if this was AI generated next time.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, he's just been in the trenches with me and is like, sure, it's so excited that we're like climbing our way out of these trenches now. But he's always been so supportive of just understanding there's something different about me that I can't control, or that I hadn't learned to control yet. I'm getting like teary because I just love him so much, and he's just like, without a supportive partner, I don't feel like I would be where I'm at. And like, he's just the rock of our family, and he's a great father.
Yeah, because you have kids too.
Yeah, that's fucking hard. We have.
How old are they?
Oh, I'm 11, 20, and 24. So the two older ones are my stepkids. Wait,
how old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, okay.
So the two older ones are my stepkids, but I just call them my kids.
Yeah.
And
sorry, so 11, 20, and 21, you said?
11, 20, and 24. They're all about to turn ages, so I keep getting mixed up.
Okay, no, that's fine. Good, give or take. Okay. And they all live with you?
The oldest recently doesn't. He just got old enough to start doing his own thing. And then the other two both live with us half of the time. We co-parent with the other parents.
Oh, okay. Okay, so your husband is not the 11-year-old's dad.
No.
Is that right?
That's right. We got together when he was about 2 or 3.
Right, I guess that math checks out. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so like super blended family then.
Yeah, very blended family. And that's like, we've always had a pretty cool family dynamic, I feel like, for having to deal with these mental health issues unchecked and undiagnosed and stuff, because my husband and I just are able to work so well together. Like, I don't know, I just feel like we chose the right type of person. I don't necessarily believe there's like one person for everyone, but there's like
No.
definitely a type of person that you can.
The best types. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And I feel like
I think there's
that.
probably like tons of people out there that like would have been great people for me, but like, Aaron is my person and I'm very, very happy that he's my person and I can't think of a better person for me, you know?
Right.
And I feel like it's very similar for you guys.
It is, and it's made all the difference. I'm like, if you have a horrible partner and you have BPD, just get them out of there. Like, it's only going to make it worse. But
totally,
it's hard to know who's a good partner or not when you don't have any skills.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes it's the most boring ones. Like, people ask me for relationship advice a lot because it's so funny. I don't know if I told you this. So I did like a webinar thing about like strengths of BPD or whatever. And I like it was like a 30-minute talk and I had one slide with a picture of Aaron on it. And I just briefly said like, I'm in a happy relationship. Like it was literally like one sentence. And then we get to the Q&A. Almost every single question was about my relationship. And I thought it was so funny because people with BPD are so drawn to like, what is that perfect relationship like? And I'm not saying my relationship perfect. Nobody's relationship is perfect, but it became the focus of my talk in the Q&A, even though it really was like an afterthought. Like I just was randomly mentioning it. And so I get asked a lot about like relationships and trying to find a good person and whatever. And honestly, my feedback almost every time is like, don't pick the people that make you really excited and intense. Because I have dated a lot of people and the ones that I was like obsessed with and that like made me feel super excited and were like, you know, became favorite people and like made my life really exciting and really horrible were not the right people, right? Whereas like Aaron was so level-headed that I was like, he's fine, whatever. And I like rejected him when he first asked me out because I was like, boring. Now I'm like, that's what I needed, right? Is I needed that like calm to the storm.
It's pretty similar. Like my husband and I, when we first got together, like he wouldn't date me because we both had been going through divorces and stuff. And it just like, it actually wasn't a good time, but I was like, what a douche. Like, who would not want to be with me when you get the chance?
Yeah.
So I just thought that was trash, but it worked. It turned out that like that was so intelligent and we got together at the right time. And when we were both available mentally, I just wanted someone to be obsessed with me at that time. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like I was like, I didn't care what I was going through. It was like, someone needs to make it great. But
yeah, and had you gotten together at that time, it probably would have crashed.
It probably would have, truly. And but instead he made me wait until it was smart. And now here we are, like almost 10 years later.
Yeah.
And he's not going anywhere. I'm not letting him.
Yeah, you're like, he's not going anywhere. Not against his will.
Yeah. You're in there.
Yeah. No, I mean, every story that I've ever heard of him is like, it just goes to show how much he loves and cares about you.
He really does, poor thing, because I really put him through it sometimes. Like,
right? I know. Oh my God. I feel that way. And then I go into like the spiral of, oh my God, do you love me? Are you sure? Why do you love me? I feel like you shouldn't love me. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I make your life horrible. I'm sorry that you ended up with me because I know I'm the worst possible person.
Yep.
And I go down this
spiral. I talked about that in therapy today. I was like, my husband doesn't like it when I basically try to convince him of why he shouldn't be with me so that he can have a happy life. But my therapist kind of framed it with like, that's not up to you. Like he's choosing to be in this, knowing what it is. And like, you can't really control that. It just seems like a bad idea sometimes. Just want the guy to be happy.
Truly. I know. I'm like, but why are you still here? Because I wouldn't be.
No, literally. And he tells me that too. He's like, you would not date yourself. And I'm like, hell no. Hell no. I
no, this sounds awful.
I'd fight that
Who the
bitch
fuck
every
would do
day.
this voluntarily?
That's
truly.
But at the same time, I know there's good times.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, there are. Oh, and like, and I mean, I've asked Aaron that before, and I've been like, I can't remember exactly the question, but I remember him saying at one point, like, one of the things that I really like about our relationship is like, I'm always, not always, but like, I tell him he's amazing a lot. Like I tell him all of the things that are so great about him and compliment him often. And he's like, I feel like other people don't do that as much as you do, right? And he's like, that just feels really good. And I was like, okay, well, I'm very glad because I'm sure treat you like shit also. But,
it's going to balance it out.
I try my best. Yeah, exactly. I do try my best. Okay, so let's talk about the parenting thing because that's something that like is also a topic that comes up a lot. And so I am like child free by choice. and just actually spent the weekend. It was a long weekend. I just spent the weekend camping with my nieces and nephews, who are not my biological ones because my sister hates me, but my best friend's kids who call me auntie. And they're, what are they? 3, 3.5, and 5. And like, good Lord, I adore those kids, but as a person that's emotionally dysregulated as like a baseline, I absolutely do not understand how parents with BPD do it. And I'm so glad you do. And I know that you guys are amazing mothers and fathers and whatever. Like I'm not saying that people with BPD aren't good parents. I'm saying, how the hell do you like survive as a parent with BPD without letting these kids like emotionally destroy you? Which is like maybe not the best take.
I do a lot of
That's the
hiding
child-free
because
take.
they do. They do destroy you a lot. Not intentionally, but
no, of
when
course
my
not. It's not
son
their
was
fault.
little, it was so hard. And I think the BPD had a lot to do with it, but I didn't understand. I'm like, this can't be like how every mother feels. Like, what the fuck?
Right. Or else our species
Why are
would
people
not
doing
exist.
this? Yeah, it just felt so. And then it's like it's so hard to. I can barely keep myself alive. So how am I going to keep someone else alive? It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. And I find that you kind of like you just do it. I don't know. You just do it because you gotta, and eventually you start just like learning how. I mean, it really is this like natural thing inside of you. I think being a mother, like a lot of it comes so naturally because I sure as hell didn't have an example, and I like to think that I'm a good mother, but it also stirred up all of my horrible things that I feel about my mother, and we've talked about this a little on the other podcast stuff, but like my abandonment issues come up with my child for the future. And that makes it really hard not to react. And it's really important to give your kids consistency. And that's somewhere that I've really struggled in parenting because I'm not a consistent person who knows what's going to send me over the edge or like make me cry. So I put my kid in therapy.
Were you a single mother for the first couple years?
Yeah. Well, not the first couple years. I was only a single mother for about a year.
Okay.
When
but even
we
that,
split
you
up
don't have
when he
anybody
was a
to hand
baby.
off to.
Yeah, no. Okay. It was just me. Because we had split custody, I was able to do it. I just happened to get a job where I only worked 4 days a week.
There is an end point. Yeah. You know that you have a couple of days to like chill and like regulate again.
Yeah, I think that was very helpful. It was very sad. I feel like I miss half of my son's life, but I also think that it's very healthy for us in some ways because I don't know that I would be as good at it 100% of the time. I think that makes a big difference for me. I really do get those couple of days. He goes to his dad's on the weekends and I just kind of reset. And that's the time that I really take care of the house and keep everything like up and going for him. You know, it's like I have to choose a focus. I find that it's really hard to be good at like career parenting and regulating myself at the same time. I kind of have to choose which one we're going with for the day.
Totally. Yeah. I don't even think you can pick two. I think it's just one at a time, honestly.
It sucks because my job takes the like usually I'm just like, ugh, that's where I suck because the other things are just too important.
I mean, you gotta stay alive and you gotta keep your kid alive and healthy, right? So like, of course that's gonna be the last priority. So sorry, you just said that you put your kid in therapy, right? Like from an early age? Is that what you're saying?
Basically when I started going to therapy, I was like, this family does therapy.
Nice. Yeah. Is it like family therapy? Like you guys together?
No, I've only ever taken him individually, and he doesn't now. He only goes if I feel like he's not doing well. But I wanted to take him originally because I knew that I wasn't very consistent as a parent. Like I didn't want him to think something's wrong with him, and I felt like if he could talk to someone else about it, and I think it was helpful. And then once I realized I had BPD, I went and talked to his therapist about it because I felt like it was definitely a tool that she could
understand,
help him grasp from him. Because I can explain it to him, but it's very hard to do in like a clinical way. I want him to learn the like facts of it and not just the emotional side of it. But he's still young, so the first time I told him about BPD and explained it in what I felt was age appropriate way, the next day he told me that he felt like I was just making it up.
Well, you know what? I was actually thinking that.
It's like, wow.
I was like, I feel like if you try and explain it, they might think that you're just kind of like excusing stuff.
But yeah, he's like,
And
I feel like you're
no,
just
that's not what
making
I'm
that
doing.
up to say why you're mad. And I'm like, okay, well, kind of. Like, I'm not making it up, but that is why I'm mad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
totally.
hard
Yeah,
to
I can
put it
see
on
where
their
that would be really
level.
complicated.
Yeah, I don't know how to
Mhm.
talk about it in a child-friendly way because it's emotions. I don't know. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain in a clinical way when you're in it.
The episode that came out last week, I don't know if you've listened to it yet, but No Longer Denying Diagnosis Leads to a Normalish Parenting, featuring Jennifer. That episode came out last week, and it's actually, she has in the show notes, she has a bunch of books that she's read to and with her kids about how to like explain BPD in a more age appropriate way. I mean, I think her kids are younger, but might be interesting to like read through and see what the um yeah, anyways, just a thought.
Well, it makes all the
That she had a
difference
lot of cool resources.
to find the
Yeah,
resources that
100%.
speak to you, like the DBT for Life book. I
Mm-hmm.
want everyone to tell everyone about it all the time, and I do
Yeah.
because it's in a language that you can understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And visually you can understand it too. So how has it been with your like that's your youngest kid, right? So how has it been with your older kids, like your stepkids,
So
around talking about BPD?
I think it's really helped our relationships. Not that they were super struggling, but they didn't get me, and also our middle son is high functioning autistic. So he and I have never understood each other. We're always like,
Right.
he's very logical and like
Right.
factual.
So you're on opposite
And
ends.
we're always just kind of staring at each other like, what do you mean? Because he doesn't get my like emotion mind and I don't get his facts. So it's helped
Yeah.
us understand like where the disconnect is more. But when I sat them down and talked to them about it, it was like, I felt so proud of just who they are as people because they just really validated me and made me feel so loved and seen. I don't know, they're amazing kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm crying again. I was wondering at the beginning how many times I would cry during this episode.
Crying is always allowed here. Yeah, I mean, I have so much like admiration for the parents that I know that have BPD that are like working it. Like not that, maybe that sounds weird, but like working at it every day and like being aware of the fact that they have BPD, because I know that there's got to be millions of people in the world who like had parents who had BPD who weren't working at it and didn't try
I think that's why I have BPD.
because of your mom.
Yeah, I have always been studying psychology and stuff to try to figure out like why is my mom's brain like this.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've figured out BPD, I'm just constantly having these moments where I'm like, she was feeling abandoned, she was feeling never loved, and it's like it's such typical BPD. And she never went to the doctor or therapy, and she was a teenage mom, and like she had no family support.
Yeah.
So it's like all these. It just makes sense that I grew up in like an unsafe, inconsistent emotional atmosphere, and I think
Yeah,
BPD.
I mean, my dad, same thing. Not a single parent or like a young parent, but same thing, right? Like just he never dealt with it, didn't know that there was something necessarily wrong. And yeah, the inconsistency of like how emotions are treated in your life and the genetics are also components. Was your dad around at all like, when growing up?
No, so my dad's an addict and like a drug addict, and he was really like see you a couple times a year kind of parent. But I did have an amazing stepdad, thankfully, and like that
Nice.
helped me not like help me survive my mom, if you want to call it that, I guess, because I had a person there that would advocate for me. And he passed away 7 or 8 years ago. And that's been really rough because that was my only adult, my safe adult. But
Right.
I think
Is your dad still like in the picture at all?
I recently, I'm such a roller coaster. Like, I will cut my parents out and then be like, please love me, and try to start talking to
Yeah,
them
I mean,
again.
hey,
And then,
it's almost like that's a symptom.
yeah, and then be like, get away from me. It's like the total I hate you, don't leave me. It's so hardcore with my parents. But so my dad, I am no contact with, and I have been for about at least a year now. And that actually kind of sparked my whole breakdown and diagnosis and sobriety. My dad was in the
Okay.
ICU, and they were gonna let him off the machines and stuff, and we actually went and said goodbye to him, and then he lived somehow after.
Wow.
Yeah,
This is your bio
yeah,
dad.
and so he
Wow. Okay.
died to me, and then didn't, and so that's been really.
Well, that would be fucked.
It is fucked, and I have made the really, really hard decision to keep him out of my life. Like, he is still
Mm-hmm.
dead, and that sounds kind of
Mm-hmm.
really fucked up, but it I have to. It's like where I'm at with it is it's like sadly there was this like relief of not trying to vie for his love anymore, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
it sucks that he had to be like basically dead in my mind for that to happen, but that showed me what having him not in my life felt
Right.
like, and I have to stick with it.
Wow. That's
It's a
crazy.
lot.
Not crazy.
It's a
Not,
lot.
you know what I mean?
That's
You know what I
essentially what
mean?
made me have that full breakdown, was going to say goodbye to him in the ICU.
Yeah. And then the fact that he
And then
survived
he
that, like you
lived.
finally have this closure.
Yeah.
Holy
It
shit.
was
That's crazy.
it is crazy, and that I saw him for the first time at my little sister's graduation last month, and
Mm.
that's actually what ended up getting me diagnosed with CPTSD, because I've just went
Interesting.
entirely nuts since then, and I've like kicked everyone out of my life, fought all my new friends, tried to tell my husband to
Yeah.
leave. Like, I ran away one day recently, literally in the car, and was like fighting my
Mm.
husband, texting him, and be like, "It doesn't matter what you think, because I'm not even coming back." Like, abandon my family.
Right.
And all of that was just because I saw my dad.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
apparently that's like CPTSD is very like, you have triggers that just like with BPD, I obviously have triggers, but I know that like I know what to do
You know what
when
they
they
are for the most
happen.
part.
Yeah. With this one, it was
Yeah,
kind
that
of like I
too.
was just thrown into, like, I had no idea. I wasn't in control anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting. And does he try and like connect with you at all? Or have
He
you like
does
said to
try.
him, like, you're dead to me?
He
Oh, he does try and
tries.
you just, yeah.
I've had to like block him on social media and stuff, because I try to
Yeah.
not do that so that they can still like look at my kids if they want to and stuff. They've never had relationships
Right.
with my kids. My husband has never met my mother.
Wow.
My stepkids have never met them, my parents. My dad used to be around
Do they
sometimes.
live near you?
The kids or my parents.
Sorry, do
Sorry.
your parents live near you?
My dad, actually, I don't know where he lives currently, but he did live about 3 miles
Okay.
from me, and my mom,
I was gonna say,
same.
because you're in a small
They live
town,
in the
right?
area,
Like,
yeah.
fuck.
But I will
That
like
sucks.
do
So
a
you
weird,
could run
I'll
into
like
them.
scan a gas station before I go in and stuff, because I just don't
Yeah.
want to do that. My mom, I think, is kind of like, she doesn't leave the house or drive or do
Hmm.
anything. I don't think I'm going to run into her, but my dad, he's like a very outgoing person who has like a billion
Right. So
friends,
like
and he's
he
always
totally
doing stuff.
would. Yeah, yeah,
So he
yeah.
could be anywhere.
And like your mom, like so your mom when your stepdad died, did that kind of kill the relationship with your mom fully?
Okay, no. So I was no contact with my mom before my stepdad died.
Okay. But you still talk to him?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it wasn't really. It was frowned upon. Like, it would get him in
Mm.
trouble with her a lot. Like, it was
Right.
easier for their relationship if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
My mom kicked me out when I was 17, and we went no contact for a long time. And then when I got older, I tried to be like, maybe I was just being immature, and tried to have a relationship with
Mm-hmm.
her, and it was horrible. So I cut her off again, and I didn't. So when my stepdad died, I actually had been no contact with both of them for a couple of years. So that was
Mm.
really rough. She and I got back in contact because I was just so worried about her when he died. She doesn't have any
Right.
family, and she doesn't have anybody that she hasn't kicked out of her life. So my brother and I got back in contact with her, and it's just kind of been trying to figure out how to get her back out since then. And it's just one of the it's really hard to know how to navigate those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Totally. And yeah, fucking parent
It's
relationships.
yeah, mine are wild.
Like there's no like easy solution. Like even no contact is like not an easy solution because there's always like this tiny part of us, at least for me, that's like, but that's my mom.
And I always get so stressed about like them dying while I'm no
And
contact
then
to yeah.
potentially regretting that you haven't said anything to them.
Yes, or you're right. It's like, is this my
Yeah.
fault that we never fixed anything, or it's just such a tough position.
Yeah, I have that problem too about the them dying thing. And I one day came to a realization, and I'm not going to get into the details, but I had this like a lot of guilt about what happens if this person dies and I'm not talking to them. And am I going to regret not having a relationship with them after they're dead? And then I had to come to this realization after a lot of like internal distress about it of if the only reason I want a relationship with someone is because there's a potential that when they die, I might regret not having one, but it's not a potential of me having a completely fucked up relationship with them and it being stressful in the current moment. I don't think that's a good enough reason to have a relationship with someone, is the future potential of feeling something when current me is actually feeling something. And that it still hasn't like made anything 100% easy or caused any sort of like easy answer, but it did give me like at least temporary feelings of like justification, I guess, of like what you're doing is okay. You don't have to talk to this person just because of a potential of being distressed when they die.
Yeah, I think my dad fake dying helped me. Like,
yeah.
It's not something to laugh about, but I laugh when I feel crazy. But it's like it kind of did put that in perspective to me, because I felt what would happen, and it wasn't that I was like, I should have been with him this whole time. It was they like, okay,
you were at peace with it. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, interesting. That is like a very unique circumstance that I've never heard of before. But
don't understand.
What did he almost die of? Like, what was how did he miraculously come back to life?
He had he's had heart problems for a long time because, I mean, I assume because of doing drugs that are like speed and stuff like that. So like he just had another heart attack and was in the hospital, and then it just like all kept going wrong, and he like wasn't conscious, and so he was in the ICU just like alive. They were keeping him alive by machines, and I don't always have like the most details. I'm also in no contact with my stepmom, who he's divorced from, but it's my sister's mom. I have such a mixed family. But
sister's
my stepson,
okay,
half sister's mom.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, yep.
So I have siblings that are both 18 from different moms. My dad's a hoe, runs in the family.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a hard one to explain, isn't it?
Yeah, they're about 9 months apart.
Oh God,
that's
hilarious.
7 months.
I mean,
apart.
not hilarious.
I'm sure that caused a lot how many siblings do I have? Hit me up, America.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh my God.
My dad's always like travel worked, and my brother lives in Missouri because he was a work baby. So I'm like, I bet I have all kinds of siblings. I want to find them.
And do you like have a relationship with your siblings?
Yeah, those are my babies. Like I'm the oldest.
Well, that's amazing.
So
yeah,
I have 2 half siblings, and then my brother, who's 5 years younger than me. We have the same parents, and we lived through all this shit together.
Gotcha.
I'm very close with him, and we're kind of distant right now because he's just busy with his girlfriend and stuff, and he doesn't have kids. But like, those are my
but you're not like
family members,
estranged or anything.
Yeah, and so my little sister stays with me every week on Wednesdays, and we're very close.
Oh, that's so cool! I love that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's like I don't have to, but I feel like so compelled to be there for them because their parents kind of just aren't going to be. And so I've made sure to live my life as this person that they're never going to doubt that I'm there for them. It's like, that's my main goal in life, other than being there for my kids, is that my siblings never feel just alone in the world.
Totally. No, that makes... Yeah, I think that it's just such a beautiful thing that they have you and that you've kind of gone through all this for them in advance. And know what shit's coming.
Yep.
And you can be like, okay, here's the situation. This is going to fuck you up. And now we're going to deal with it so that it doesn't continue to fuck you up. And I had to find this all out by myself. Yep. So yeah, that's really great. I'm happy to hear that.
It's like I try to be the person. I just try to be that person that I feel like it could have made all the difference if I had that one person. So I just strive to be that.
Yeah, like you were saying your stepdad, right?
Yeah. It's like I had my stepdad, but he wasn't allowed to be all the way there for me, if that makes sense, because his relationship would be in trouble.
That's devastating. But even at that, he was able to have such a huge impact on your life, which is really cool. Yeah. Oh, Good step parents are amazing. So is there anything that we haven't touched on? I mean, I think the impulsivity piece we're going to touch on in a separate episode because I feel like we're definitely not going to have time to do it today.
Yeah,
But
there's
is
a
there
lot.
anything that we haven't? Yeah, exactly. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you were really hoping we could talk about today?
I don't think so, other than just like motivational things, of just putting yourself on a path. Like there is a path you could put yourself on with DBT that is a path of hope. And I mean BPD, but DBT is part of that. Too many
Yeah.
acronyms. But
Yeah, so many
it's
acronyms.
just like, I just want to send out a message of hope through you and the podcast, and then meeting people from that, like Diana in her story in the book, and Dave, someone who's in remission from BPD. Like it, there is hope. I used to not believe that suffering is optional. I didn't believe in dialectics. I didn't believe that I was going to be anybody who did anything other than hurt people. And it's just, there are things out there waiting for you, like peer support and a toolbox that's DBT, just things like that, where if you have BPD and you're feeling so alone in the world, that you just don't have to be. I know that that's something I was stuck in for a long time, is feeling so alone. No one understands me. No one's ever going to understand me. And now I have this group of people that's like, I can say anything that are my true thoughts and feelings, and you guys fucking get it. And that means the world.
Totally. Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
all the difference. And you're my hero, Lori.
No. I mean, I thank you. That means a lot. And that is why I wanted to do all this, right? Is because when I was diagnosed, that didn't exist. There was no positive role models. And I was like, I want to do my best to like be something for someone.
And you did. It's, you just Google things and it's all bad. And then I found you, and it changed the whole path of my life, finding you.
Thanks, Heather. I just love you.
I love you.
I love all of you guys, like you, Dave, Shannon, like all of you. I just like, I think we're all such different people. And that's what makes it so special, is that it doesn't matter where we are in the world, literally, or like where we are in our lives or how we were brought up. But we can just all speak the same language. And the Super Feelers Club, just, I don't know why talking to you makes me more emotional than I'm usually talking.
It's because I cry all the time.
The Super Feelers Club. Yeah, I just, because what we talk about is just like means so much to me. But like that group of people in the Super Feelers Club is like nothing else in the universe to me.
So true. There's no depth everywhere else.
Yeah. And when I meet people like you and others who have been not diagnosed for very long, right? Like you found me how many months after you were diagnosed? Not very many.
A month after I went searching.
Yeah. Can you believe, like I mean, you can believe, I suppose, but like if I had found this community, and I'm not bragging, I don't want to make it sound like I'm telling people that my community is amazing and I love, whatever. My community is what it is. I hear people talk about how amazing it is, and that means the world to me. But had I found a community of people that were talking about BPD in the way that we talk about it when I was a month into my diagnosis, like my whole universe would be different.
And you're doing that for people. You really are. Yeah. Like that is exactly what happened for me, Lori, because I was devastated. You know what it's like when you Google BPD. Now I'm crying again.
Yeah.
It's
and when I did it, it was 10 years ago.
But it was nothing. Could you even find anything? Yeah, I'm sure there wasn't much at all. And then it was all bad. And now it was like, I found that at first, but then I also found you, and it was like, no, wait a minute. Fuck that. I don't have to believe in all of that horrible shit, because here are real people that understand and accept and can like guide me. And seeing you guys be happy, that does so much for me. We've talked a little bit, like I used to get mad when you would say that you loved having BPD and that you would never change it. Like I said that one thing about killing 3 people or whatever. And it's just like, I don't feel that way anymore.
I don't think I ever said, Yeah, I don't know if I ever said I love having BPD.
Probably not.
I said, well, I mean, maybe I did, but I think the quote that you specifically were mad about was I would often people ask me like if there was a magic pill to get rid of your BPD, would you take it? And I say no because I think there's so many positive things about it.
Yeah,
and you said you would kill 3 people to get rid of BPD, and
I don't feel that way anymore. And it's just from gaining hope from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I am I just tell everyone about peer support and DBT.
Yeah.
And I strive to be like you. Like you literally are a role model to people with BPD who care and want people to feel heard and loved. You put me on a path of trying to figure out how to help other people around me, and I'm doing it. And it's like, that's because of you.
100% you're doing it. And thank you. I mean, I can't do anything that I do without other people, right? So, I mean, I'm just like honored that I can create this space for people. It's true. I mean, I'm not good at taking compliments, but I I truly am. It is like the joy of my life to do this. And like it would be slightly more of the joy of my life if it made money.
Right.
but that's okay. I'll do it for free. And the fact that like you guys show up to Super Feelers Club, you come on this podcast and share your story, and you are brave and honest about where you're at. I just provide the opportunity to talk, really, at the end of the day. Like that's really what I'm here to do.
True, but it's still so important that someone facilitates that, because if you didn't,
totally, yeah, 100%.
What would I be doing right now? I don't know. It could
go awry really fast. Yeah, it could go bad real quick if you just let people randomly. I mean, you've seen it, right? Like people do weird stuff, and there is, it's important to facilitate it, and like just the fact that people come and that we've made these friends. We've made these friends from all over the freaking world.
I know, it's so cool to be like, oh, well, my friend in Australia gets it, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So like, fuck you. Yeah, and like I know, like if I came to like anywhere that you guys are, you would be like, oh my God, Lori, let's go get coffee.
Yeah, you could find a super feeler anywhere.
I have genuine friends all over the world.
I would die if we could have coffee.
And like, I just like, first of all, we need to get a new government. You guys do need to get a new government. But I mean, I met Dave. That made my life. That was so exciting. He happened to be like near me and was like, hey, it's about an hour and a half drive for me and an hour drive for you. Like, you want to meet up? And I was like, absolutely, I want to meet up. Are you kidding me? We went out for coffee, and it just made I've met, how many super feelers have I met now? Probably like 9 in person.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, most of them here or like local-ish. But every time I go anywhere, like I used to travel for work a decent amount, and I would just say, hey, I'm going to this place. Who's there? And it's the best. I love it. And if I was brave enough to like fly to Australia or like Scotland or whatever, like, you know what I mean? I would do it. I hate planes.
Yeah. So, they're getting weirder.
Not great. They're getting weirder. And like, I get really claustrophobic, and I have really long legs, and I just like, I hate it. But you bet your ass if I'm ever in Georgia, I will be knocking on your door. Yeah, because when I was going to Louisiana, I was like, "Oh my God, how close am I to you?" Remember?
I meet up with you so like, bad. It was like 7 hours or something.
Yeah, you're like, it's not close at all. I was like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, 7 hours is a long ass way. I feel like I'm willing to go like an hour and a half, maybe, but 7 hours is too long. But one day it'll happen, and I can't wait. I mean, my goal in life is like win the lottery. I should buy lottery tickets. I don't buy lottery tickets, but I should, and then like get us all together. A Super Feelers conference where we just like fucking hang out for 2 days straight. Like, can you imagine?
Trauma dump.
But anyways, yeah, trauma dump, exactly. Fall in love with each other. I don't know. Something would happen. It'd be really exciting.
You would have 12 new FPs immediately.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I know. There's nothing like the Super Feelers community is like the greatest thing in my life. And I just like actually can't imagine my life without you guys. Like, it's wild to me. And like the best part is like there's new people that come in, and we're just like, they're just part of it now.
They're just the family. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just part. It's just like, hey, welcome. We're happy you're here. And we just go on. Yeah. We're so freaking lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last question is going to be what your favorite part of BPD is. And so now that you don't want to kill 3 people to get rid of it.
And
what is your favorite part of having borderline personality
Yeah,
disorder?
6 months ago, I would have been like 0, nothing. But now it's the other side of the spectrum is the excitement, the, like, adventurous spirit that I have, I feel comes from that same place that these things that I get down on myself are about. Like, without BPD, I feel like I would not have very much personality. And I just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know that I could say I have a favorite thing about it or what I love about it other than, like, I mean, it's a personality disorder. It is what makes up me, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And I like who I am now, and that includes my BPD. So it's just part of a really cool
Mm-hmm.
person. I always thought I would have something like really profound to say about that. But it's really just simple of like,
You're
I
like,
love
I'm just a
me.
really cool
I'm
person.
just really awesome.
Yeah.
But genuinely, it's like, it feels egotistical to say these kind of things, but like, people do enjoy my company and people like being
Mm-hmm.
around me because of that. And so, like, why would I want to take that away? And it feels so good to
Totally.
be able to say that now.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that I could be part of any component of you changing that internal narrative. And yeah, it feels sometimes I feel that way too. Like, I'm an awesome person, blah, blah, blah. And I was just editing an episode for Patreon where my like 3 best friends are interviewing me. And they asked me the question about what's your favorite part. And I was like, whatever. I went on this huge long list, and then one of my friends goes, "And you're so humble." And I was like, "No, no, no, but I promise that like this is actually a thing that like I believe."
It's hard
I
not
thought
to
it was so
sound
funny.
just like full of yourself, but
Like,
we're
yeah.
awesome.
But also, here, let's talk about it this way. The world tells us that we're horrible human beings. We got to counter that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm happy to talk about the positives more than the negatives in a lot of ways. And I'm not denying the negatives are there. Don't get me wrong, the negatives are
Oh, yeah.
there.
They're great. They're
But
there.
if everybody's telling us people with borderline are horrible people, I'm going to tell us that we're all awesome people, and we'll just meet in the middle. And that's fine by me. We got to change the narrative. And I think
And we
showcasing the
are.
positives is part of what's doing that. Yeah, totally. We're not hiding the reality of any of this.
And I think I did through this come up with a actual favorite thing about about it, and it's the depth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the depth that I carry because
Mm.
all the time I'll be talking to other people, and I'm like, they're just like, I just feel things so much deeply, and this doesn't feel deep. And meeting
Yeah.
all the super feelers, I've learned that like that is something about us. Like there's depth in everything. So I think that's my
That's
favorite
so
part.
true.
I also wanted to
That's
say
great.
really
I love
quickly
this.
that I have faith that we're changing people like you, influencing people like me to do things like in my small town for mental health. I think we're changing the statistics. I think I'm very confident in 10 years, the suicide statistics won't be 1 in 10 because we're not alone anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really confident in that.
Yeah.
And
And
you're
you're
making
doing
a big
so much
difference.
too. Like, yeah, as are you. You've thank you. And as are you. You've in the last like what, 6 months, not even. You've just been broadcasting how proud you are of
Literally,
BPD.
I'm like, I have BPD.
And that's a big change. That's a
Yeah.
big fucking change that you would not have done when you were first diagnosed. And you know that you're already making people feel better about their lives because you're hearing it from people in your community, and you're hearing it from other super feelers, and like it's all grassroots, right? Like, I started sharing my story in high school gyms, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like this huge thing. And people like you who are just kind of taking it and running with it, I just love so much because it's going to change so many people.
I think we're making a big difference. And it feels good.
We are. It does feel good. Well, thank you so much, Heather, for coming on. I just, I adore you. And I am so happy that you're here in the world and in my life and on this podcast and in the Super Feelers Club and all of the things. If you have not already listened to the BPD Symptoms series or the DBT Skills series, Heather is on those episodes and has so much insight beyond what we talked about today. So now that you have a bit of a like overview of her story, I think if you haven't listened to those episodes, you absolutely should. And I think Heather and I are going to do a solo episode as well about impulsivity because the Chaos Goblin was chaosing on the BPD Symptoms episode about impulsivity. And so was your computer, to be fair. I think part of that was your computer being a Chaos Goblin. And so Heather wasn't able to share any of her experience with impulsivity and was really bummed about it. So we're going to do an extra episode where Heather can share about impulsivity. So keep an eye out for that. So thank you so much, Heather. You are a love of my life. And I'm just so happy you're here. Thank you so much for listening to the Superfeeler podcast. This episode was recorded on the traditional and unceded territory of the Matsqui and Sumas First Nations. If you'd like to learn more about the Superfeeler podcast, share your story, or participate in the Superfeelers Club, which is our peer support group, it's totally free, virtual, and open to anyone who experiences intense emotions or has borderline personality disorder, please check out the link in our show notes or go to laurieedmondson.com. If you would like to support the show, we would very much appreciate it. There's an option to do monthly small donations at whatever denomination you'd like, and you get bonus content, extra resources, and extra connection to me throughout. That can be found on patreon.com/superfeeler, or again in the notes below. Thanks again, and have a great day.